Here's the weird paradox. People all over the world constantly say English is easy, while simultaneously spending years struggling with it. So what's going on here? English is basically the friendly-looking final boss of languages. At first it smiles at you. Hi, how are you? I like pizza. And learners think, oh, this is simple. Then English suddenly pulls you out with this move. Though, through, thorough, thought, huff, cough. And now everyone is crying in 17 different accents.
It's a ball-shaped spree. The USA shouts freedom wild and free. Russia's cold but tough as steel, while France just flexes its baguette appeal. Yeah, country balls rolling across the map, flags for faces and jokes that slap with. It's history fun, memes, chaos, all in one. India brings spice and
Tecnologia.
UK sips tea while throwing Switzerland's chill with a neutral grin. Mexico dances with a taco spin. Country balls in every land and sea. Time in every sleep with queens. It's me non-stop. Hit subscribe 'cause we're ready to pop.
The reason people think English is easy comes from a few big psychological traps. English is easy to survive, but hard to master. For example, me want burger, you send mail tomorrow, and people still understands you. First, English has very little grammar at the beginning. Compare it to languages like German language, Russian language, or Arabic language. Unlike German and Japanese, people won't correct you every 2 seconds. In many languages, nouns change forms, verbs mutate constantly, gender rules attack you, sentence structure bends reality. But English, I eat, you eat, we eat, that feels super clean. Even past tense often looks easy. I walked, I jumped. So beginners feel powerful very quickly. That beginner friendliness creates the illusion that the whole language is easy. Also, English grammar rules are sometimes short. Learners think it's easy. They learn it immediately, but then forget when they actually have to use it. This creates an illusion between overconfidence and hope. At first, English grammar is very easy, but then active vs passive voice, subject-verb agreement, gerunds vs participles, modal verbs, prepositions, has or have or had, and people still can't differentiate the difference between its versus its. But then comes stage 2. English stops being a language and becomes 3 languages wearing a trench coat. Why? Because English stole vocabulary from literally everybody. Old Germanic roots, huge amounts from French, Latin academic words, Greek scientific terms, Norse influences, random colonial borrowings from everywhere. English vocabulary is like a museum built by pirates. That's why English has 14 ways to say the same thing. Ask, question, interrogate, inquire, or kingly, royal, regal, different origins smashed together into one language. This becomes a nightmare for learners because simple conversation, English, and advanced English feel like different universes. A learner may understand, I need help, but then suddenly here, assistance is required. Same meaning, totally different vocabulary. Source.
Now let's talk about pronunciation. English spelling is absolutely cooked. That is because English is a hieroglyphic language. You'll need to memorize spellings of every word. In many languages, words are pronounced close to how they're written. But English spelling is basically historical chaos. The language changed pronunciation over centuries, but kept old spellings like dusty museum artifacts. Examples: night, det, island, kernel. Why is kernel pronounced like colonel? English learners constantly face this problem. You can read a word, but not pronounce it, or pronounce a word, but not spell it. That's brutal. And native speakers don't notice anymore, because their brains adapted years ago. Exposure changes perception massively. English also cheats by being flexible. Native speakers tolerate broken English surprisingly well. Someone can say, yesterday me go shop buy bread, and people still understand. That flexibility helps learners survive early on. Compare that with highly strict, grammar-heavy languages. where one tiny ending mistake can completely break the sentence. English often prioritizes communication over perfection. That makes learners FEEL more successful early. Kid in Brazil may know, bro, download, subscribe, level up, without opening a textbook once.
You didn't have to cut me off. Like that we were nothing. I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger, and I feel so loved.
This creates another illusion. People confuse high exposure with easy language. If the entire internet forced everyone to consume Spanish language daily for 20 years, suddenly people would start saying, Spanish isn't that hard actually.
You didn't have to cut me off. Like we were nothing. I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger, and I feel so loved.
Another reason people think English is easy. The world is drowning in English exposure. Think about it. YouTube, gaming, memes, TikTok, movies, songs, apps, programming, internet slang. Even people who never formally studied much English still absorb thousands of words accidentally. When something is everywhere, your brain treating it as a foreign language, and this illusion makes it more natural.
But advanced English, different story. Once you go beyond survival English, things get chaotic. Phrasal verbs, idioms, weird humor, double meanings, subtle tone differences. For example, give up, give in, give away, give off, give out. One verb, infinite suffering. Then idioms arrive like a truck. Break a leg, spill the beans, hit the sack. Imagine learning English logically and hearing, yeah, I spilled the beans. You'd think, why are we talking about beans? English also has accent chaos. Unlike some languages with relatively standardized pronunciation, English has British accents, American accents, Australian accents, Indian accents, Irish accents, Scottish accents, South African accents, and they can sound like entirely different species speaking. If there are so many English accents, which one is the hardest? Well, there's no official accent that's termed as hardest. But one thing for sure, British accent is the OG one and American accent simplified version. For example, it's not bottle of water, it's BOY. And it's not Tuesday, it's Tuesday. Get it? Choose. A learner finally masters one accent, then hears fast Scottish English and experiences sad life. Another hidden difficulty, English stress patterns. Tiny stress changes can alter understanding. Record.
Same spelling, different meaning. English rhythm matters a lot for sounding natural. That's difficult because textbooks usually teach words individually, while real English becomes a giant sound smoothie. What do you wanna do? Excuse me, where did the words go? So in reality, English is easy to start, hard to master. That's the key distinction. People call English easy because 1. Simple beginner grammar. 2. Massive global exposure. 3. Flexible communication style. 4. Constant internet immersion. 5. Fast early progress. But they forget the hidden monsters. Insane spelling, gigantic vocabulary, phrasal verbs, idioms, accent diversity, pronunciation inconsistencies. English is basically the language equivalent of tutorial easy and game nightmare. Okay, I think that's it. See you later on next video.